Rational thinkers and the younger generation are moving away from traditional faith in record numbers. The issue isn't necessarily a lack of spiritual interest, but a theological operating system that has failed to update. For 1,500 years, many have lived under a fear OS, a framework built on guilt and the persistent threat of judgment. This system traps the divine in a three-dimensional box. It portrays God as someone physically distant in the sky, or stuck in the ancient past, or waiting in a far-off future. For a modern professional, this creates a massive practical gap. The rigid concepts preached on a Sunday morning often have no utility when you're facing the actual pressures of a Monday morning at the office. When our spiritual language no longer matches our rational reality, the system crashes. To bridge this gap, we need a third Reformation, a move toward a faith defined not by distance and fear, but by immediate quantum love. To see how this works, we have to look at science not as an enemy of faith, but as a vocabulary for it. 21st century physics provides the tools to finally move past that three-dimensional box. It starts with the concept of the block universe, a model supported by the work of Albert Einstein. It replaced the idea of time as a fleeting, one-way stream with something much more permanent. In this model, the past, present, and future aren't disappearing. They exist simultaneously as a single, solid reality. From this perspective, every moment of your life is happening right now, side by side. Then there is the discovery of quantum entanglement, a cornerstone of the mechanics explored by Albert Einstein and his colleagues. Entanglement shows that two particles, even if separated by the entire width of the universe, remain connected. When one changes, the other reacts instantly. It reveals that the distance we see in our daily lives doesn't actually prevent immediate, non-local connection. When we combine these ideas, that all time is present and distance is no barrier, the concept of a God who is everywhere at once moves from a religious mystery to a physical possibility. It suggests that the divine isn't waiting for you in the future, it is a present reality in the eternal now. We can think of this presence as the Eden love field, or ELF. Just as gravity and electromagnetism act as invisible fields across the 138 billion-year-old cosmos, this field provides a universal baseline of love. This aligns with the deep insights of Eastern philosophy. When traditions like Buddhism speak of the silence or the no-self beneath reality, they are describing this same non-local frequency that isn't limited by our individual egos. This perspective allows us to value the wisdom of the East while maintaining the personal, loving connection that characterizes the Christian tradition. Through the lens of the Eden love field, ancient spiritual practices and modern quantum mechanics describe the same underlying connectivity, different languages for the same invisible landscape. If this cosmic field is always active, the question becomes, how do we actually interact with it during a busy work week? To understand our connection, we can look back to ancient metaphysics and the concept of the divine fragment, an unchangeable, eternal essence within our own consciousness. Think of this fragment as a spiritual antenna, designed to receive and transmit the Eden love field. This is the meaning of ask, seek, and knock. It's a daily 5-minute habit to sync your focus, clearing your antenna before the day's distractions begin. This simple morning calibration is how a modern professional successfully uninstalls the fear OS and begins the day running on a love OS. That frequency has to survive the actual friction of a job, the stressful meetings, and the difficult coworkers who challenge our patience. This is where we use the love excavator. Instead of reacting in fear or anger, we use every workplace conflict as a chance to choose a love-based response. Each choice digs a deeper, more permanent connection to the divine, right at your desk. This shifts your entire perspective on life. You aren't in a 100-year waiting room for a final judgment. You are participating in a round of the Eden game, a simulation prepared over 138 billion years, specifically for you to learn how to choose love. The Third Reformation brings our science, our professional lives, and our spiritual health into one single reality. It empowers you to leave fear behind and step fully into the eternal now.